Okay, here we go. We are on, what was this, episode number 9 of the MAREI podcast. And we're here today with Britton Asbell. My name's John Wires, as you guys know. And he's here with, obviously, Crossroads Investment Lending. Everybody's seen the signs around. You've been to the MAREI meetups. You guys are pretty popular. We'll get into getting an introduction for yourself,
Sure.
what you guys do for services, how you guys help all the real estate investors out there. I've seen a couple of your guys's, loans come through from some personal transactions I've dealt with before on real estate deals. Go ahead and give everybody your introduction and intro to services.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Britton. I work with Crossroads Investment Lending. Kind of have a unique advantage since I work at a family-owned business. I've gotten to work in all aspects of the business. So, for instance, when I was in high school, I worked a lot of crews. So I got to do a lot of rehabs, experience that. I got the fun job of cleaning out houses. So if anyone has experienced that and
Yeah.
knows all the treasures you find,
Yeah.
So that was good. Kind of moved on to selling wholesales, renting houses, and then eventually into running Crossroads. So
you've been through the gamut of everything.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like, family-owned business, you guys have been through the whole process and kind of ended up at lending. Do you guys still do rentals, investment rentals yourself? Do you still dabble all in that? Do you still do flips?
We still do the rentals. We still have the acquisitions. We do the flips. We do the property management and all that stuff. But
And the property management.
Yep.
But it sounds like as far as the services you would sell, it'd be mostly the lending portion, right?
For me, yeah. I mean, what my main focus is the lending, connecting with people and helping them make sure that they have a good investment they're buying.
Okay. So tell everybody how this process works, and what type of investors may need to be seeking this particular loan from you guys.
Sure. So let's kind of talk about, the process is super simple. I get people pre-approved. That takes one day. I give you a proof of funds letter for $350,000. Let's go and start finding some houses. Where this really makes a lot of sense is I work with a lot of experienced investors and some that are just starting out. It kind of and in the middle, people that are still working a full-time job and then they're investing on the side. So we kind of help people in all aspects. For the newbie, we help them get through the process, understand what we're looking for in the deal, make sure the deal makes sense. And I'm going to tell you if it doesn't, because at the end of the day, if we do a deal and I make money and you don't, the problem is you're never going to use me again. You'll probably never want to do real estate again. We want to help minimize that. For the experienced people that maybe have a lot of money, but want to use our money instead of theirs so they can do multiple deals and scale, I do a lot of that with investors. And then if you take it to the very advanced, people that are wanting to buy and hold, we work really well with doing the burst strategy. So you're using my money to purchase the house and to rehab it. And then you take that property, get it rented, and then refinance it, and you just keep going. You're getting your money back out. We can keep rolling into the next deal. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And as far as what did you say the limits are for the loan price wise, or is it case by case?
It's case by case. I start you out with 350,000. Everything looks good. We can go up to $1 million.
Okay.
Once we get up to $1 million, I'm going to start asking, making sure you're paying stuff off and we're moving. But as long as you're doing what you said you're going to do, we'll keep going.
And is there basic reporting requirements every so often to pull funds, or do they just kind of get it all at once?
Yeah. So as far as how it works, we close at the title company. They get we close there. As far as the rehab money, we pay through a draw process.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So for the draw process, they give you receipts, they give you a report of what's done. Do you have someone go out there, confirm that this work's complete, and then you give them the draw?
Yeah, so we don't do receipts. We do it a little differently. In the beginning, when we're writing the loan, I'm going to kind of help them space it out in a spreadsheet so they can see every item's costing them. Like, let's say bathroom 1 cost them $2,500 to repair. They're doing the whole thing. we'll have that line item out so they know what they're doing. And then when they get that item done, we come in, send an inspector, and pay them.
I see. I see. Okay, makes sense.
But some people may say, oh my goodness, I got to self-fund everything, and then they'll pay me back. That's not necessarily true. If you run your business correctly and tell your contractors, whatever you get done this week, I'll pay you on the next Friday, which is how normal business runs. You can be out no money and it's no big deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So obviously it's important to keep obviously good records and keep good tight schedules if you can.
Yeah, and we keep all that for them too as well. So we actually
okay.
write out all their draws and keep that organized for them and send them copies of it so they know where they're at. So if they have any questions.
Are you primarily dealing with investors? Is that your main crowd and doing flips and burrs?
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of, actually, let me ask this question now. I'll get into the next one about the market. What about areas of lending? Where are you maybe not lending, and where are you lending right now?
Urban core is kind of hard. I do lend in there, but it's going to be lower LTV. Basically, what I want to do is I want to have a safe place that I can send my inspector or someone to look at the house, and I'm not, afraid for their life. How's that?
Okay, sounds good. And as far as, is there a general terms we can kind of expect, or how hard is it to mention those numbers without seeing a deal?
Yeah, I mean, usually I'm doing 65 to 70% of ARV.
Okay.
But of course, I'm looking at three factors in every deal. I look at the person, I look at the deal, and I look at what they have in reserves. If they're looking good on all aspects, we can do a lot of different things. I have a lot of options.
Okay, sounds good. And then, so in this market, obviously, things, a lot of capital expenditures have been put on pause. A lot of real estate is on pause as far as showings and maybe purchases. It's time for people to possibly pick up deals. What are you seeing out there as far as the lending environment or on these flips and your primary clients?
Yeah, so when this first started, the first 2 weeks, it was kind of I think it was a shock and awe. Everything kind of stopped.
Right.
But as people started realizing, life's going to go on, leads and stuff and deals started picking back up. Right now, they're really flying. So
Okay.
I know our other business that sells houses, they got, 12 under contract in the last 2 weeks. So they're really moving. Houses are selling.
Yeah. Is that houses they're selling for like wholesale, or they're selling
Rehabs.
after a fixing rehabs?
Yep.
Okay. And I was mentioning to people too, we obviously I talk to real estate investors weekly. I don't think anyone expects like a crash from 2007, 2008 type thing. Kind of mostly a pause, and then I think we'll be off to the moon. So many months down the line after economic data comes out, that washes out. Obviously, the government has printed trillions of dollars. That's a lot of that is being directly injected into small business and through people, through obviously the CARE Act, and through obviously through bank accounts. So yeah, I think we're going to see some pretty big inflation, and we're going to get on to people being comfortable in real estate. So I don't think there'll be an issue long term. It'll be interesting to see what happens shorter term, but
it will. It'll see all the people that put their mortgages on hold, what happens in the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, exactly.
As, we'll probably have a lot of inventory to buy, which will be good for all of us. We'll just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I know we're currently in a deal for a complex in Oklahoma City, and right in the middle of it for commercial lending. Obviously, they changed terms. You've probably heard of it because you're right in the middle of it. A lot of Fannie, Freddie, and even bridge lenders are requiring more escrow. Maybe the lower LTV down, 5 something percent. So. Sure. There are definitely effects out there, but recently been hearing that some of those restrictions are starting to loosen up already, which is also interesting.
Well, I mean, they have to if they want to keep the market moving.
Right. They got to keep it pretty fluid. All
Right.
right. Speaking of those terms, have you tightened any of your terms recently, or required more reserves in any place, or lowered LTV?
Yeah.
Or I
So
guess
what
you have
we're
ARV, but
Yeah, I mean, you could say LTV, it's all the same. It always depends on what it's worth when it's done.
sure.
I mean, not really. We're kind of doing the same thing we were doing since we're, privately held and we do all of our own stuff. This is not really affecting us at all.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and
Okay.
and we're here locally, so we look at the deals, we check them. We have our boots on the ground. It makes it so I know what I'm looking at. So it's a lot easier.
Interesting. So, as far as you guys provide hard money loans, I see
Mhm.
bridge loans, transactional funding.
Mhm.
It sounds like bread and butter is hard money.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the majority of my deals are hard money, I would say for sure.
Okay,
I don't do a lot
interesting.
of transactional or bridge. I hardly actually do any of them because most of the time you don't need them if you're doing this correctly. You know.
Gotcha. Um, as far as what's out there in the landscape right now, the current deals that are being fixed and flipped, what's the outlook for those guys? Are they seeing? Are they putting any of their projects on hold? Are they not seeing as many buyers as they want, at least for another few weeks? Have you heard many feedback from your clients?
No, it's actually been clients have been selling houses like crazy. So
Huh.
I'm
Okay.
not seeing much of that. I've really not having anyone say, "Hey, I'm getting nothing." Stuff is
Right.
moving. Actually, we've had a big influx of California investors coming in and wanting to do deals here. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I always mention to people, even if we had a pullback, I mean, there's so much money on the sidelines, as you know,
Yeah.
from the coast, and we have a lot of people that have held out a couple years because they're waiting for the pullback. So even if even if we have this pullback, a slight one coming, I mean, I think there's going to be so much money that things are going to be bought up. I mean, we really got to have elongated quarantine or some serious economic issues that would cause all this shutdown. Not only the government shutting down businesses as to why there's economic issue, but
Right.
you're right. I can imagine a lot of people being on the sidelines with cash, and maybe some people even pulled it out in the market recently, even though it's had a good bounce. Maybe they pulled it out and they're looking to get a little bit more conservative, you could say, getting into real estate.
Well, I mean, look at the stock market. It's a roller coaster ride right now.
It
I mean,
is.
it's
The
I could
first
see
few
people.
weeks were ridiculous, like 1,000
Oh
up, 1,000
man.
down. It was
Woof.
painful.
It is. I mean, I keep all my stuff in real estate, so I don't really I don't mess with the stock market because I like to see my stuff, but that's just me. That's not everyone, I know.
No, 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 I get you. So for your clients, you have a lot of out of state people too, along with local.
Yeah, there's a good mix, mostly local, but I have quite a few out of staters. A lot of California, Florida, New York people, so Colorado. Those
Sounds
are the big
good.
ones. Yeah.
For just coming back a little bit too about the process,
Mhm.
can you give us some tips on what a client or person looking to do rehab or birth strategy, what do you recommend they have in place before contacting you? Any tips there on maybe finding a deal, things
Mhm.
like that?
Well, I mean, they can contact me wherever they're at in the process. That's fine. The best thing though is to please have an idea what you're going to do, or an LLC set up at least, so you can have some kind of strategy of what you're going to do. But I mean, for me, I don't need a whole bunch of stuff because I have a pretty straightforward process. It's very simple. As soon as we open back up here, I can have people come back in my office. We do what's called a whiteboard. They bring their deal in. I write up on the whiteboard. We talk about what it looks like, how I'd finance it, and if it even makes sense for them. So we have that open all the time for people. We want to make sure that they're making a good deal. So I mean, they could come in at any point. They have a house, they want to do it. They've done 100 houses, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. We'll work with anyone.
That sounds good. And do you guys do some of your own probably educational or some marketing stuff too? Do you guys hold any like online meetups or in-person meetups? Do you guys do those?
Yeah, we do. We do our monthly whiteboard. So we
Okay.
have some changes coming up kind of after all this, kind of seeing what's happening. We had a big monthly meeting we did every month with about 120 people or so. Seeing how we want to move that moving forward, but for now we will continue to do our whiteboard in our office. So,
And that's something they could go sign up through like a newsletter or go to your like a Facebook page.
yeah, so
How
it's on
they
our Facebook page, it's on Eventbrite, it's on my
Okay.
website. Happy to sign up for that. Usually it's about 25 people. The owner of our company comes down, kind of talks about how he got started, kind of the fears and what he had to overcome to get going, and then how he built it, and then it's open to questions. So it's a good time.
Sounds good. And I always like to kind of end off on maybe the market future forecasting a bit. Do you see anything different as far as how you guys will operate differently going forward into the market, or do you kind of just see this as a blip? It'll be business as usual, but maybe no big changes. I know a lot of, for example, like title work, they're trying to get a lot of that stuff so you could sign through like third party authentication .loop and
Right.
everything like that, so you don't have to show up to sign anymore, which I don't understand how that wasn't implemented like years ago. But do you see
5 years ago?
yeah, I mean, it was funny. We were talking to Dave Green. You
Mhm.
probably, I don't know if
Yeah.
you know, but
Yep.
from Accurate, and they were just saying they're doing a lot of that work recently, and they said they might change it back to where you have to be in person. You have to have a tile person show up to where you are, but they're trying to get that digital signatures. But
Sure.
do you see any of that changing much for you guys, or how you guys do business?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I could do a lot of stuff virtually if I need to be. We like the in-person application a lot because we believe, this is an in-person business, especially if you're doing rentals. You gotta be with the people, see the house, see what you're doing. But yeah, virtual stuff. I've done virtual meetings. We do virtual walkthroughs. We've done stuff like that. But as far as moving forward, we're kind of at where we're at. The funny thing, I'll go back to your other question you're asking about market stuff. And I feel like we've been really spoiled in Kansas City for the past 3 years.
Okay.
And it may go back to normal where a house doesn't sell in a day. It might take 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Right.
That's normal. I mean, come on.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So overall, you see things are going obviously pretty well now, and you think it'll probably pick up once this lockdown's lifted.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be going out to eat. That's for sure.
That's hilarious you said that, because I've mentioned that multiple times. That's the thing I'm going to do. Everyone's going to go out for a haircut.
Yep.
And then go to their favorite place to eat, because I definitely like to do that.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Appreciate the markets update, how you guys are doing, because it's really interesting seeing people who give out loans, how that's doing. Because if you were saying we've been decimated, no loans, we're not seeing sales, I mean that's kind of good info and feedback for people out there. Or even if you guys are deposit, it's some information for the guys that are in the field, and you do this stuff every day, and you guys are experts or professionals, so it's nice for you to share how that environment's looking right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give everybody the ability to contact you, the website. Go over that contact information again.
Sure. I don't know if you can see it. It's right behind me. I actually grab it. So try to make it really, really simple.
Nice. They'll be able to
So
screenshot
it's
that.
our website, kclend.com. Phone number is 913-766-2900. We're here off Shawnee Mission Parkway. As soon as we open back up, we'll have people back in our office to talk. But love to talk to you. Love to chat. got questions about a deal, I walk a lot of deals, so happy to talk to you about it. If I can help you with anything, always open. We just want to see people grow and make more money.
No, that's awesome. We see you guys everywhere. Heard good things. You help out a lot of people. I wish everybody would have a sign like that, because then people don't have to have pen and paper try to get it down, or we wouldn't even have to put it in the notes.
Right.
So
Right. Makes it easy, huh?
it makes you're prepared. So
Try
that's
to
awesome. All righty. And will they have a good chance to be meeting with you, or do they meet with other people on your team too?
Yeah, me or one of my other 3 guys. So, I got James and I got Josh. Either one of us will be helping them out with their deal and walking them through it and talking about it. So,
Right on. Awesome. Sounds good. Sometime in the future, we'll get you on again. We'll see if the predictions are right. We'll see if the world's ended by then, and
right.
we'll get an update then. Other than that, appreciate it, Britton, and we'll get this out.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks.